Shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach and that rule well today. And citation also to the federal laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Kabar coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message or these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. And also to the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the heathen nations and they may take on a physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Shalom. So basically, I'm just going to get into a quick lesson, and this video going to be about how, when it comes to, you got to, certain individuals, okay, that believe in, the doctrine of the Hebrew Israelites, okay, but then, trying to mix the truth, okay, or the Bible with the world, okay, in particular when it comes to now, lately, which Elder Anat Zotbot from the GMS South Carolina Maintenance Branch put up a video, okay, of this, woman going into how she believed that she a Hebrew Israelite, but then again believe in the doctrine of Islam, okay? Like I say, you got Israelites out there that's joining to these false doctrines, man. Okay, hey, once, still IUIC, okay, about a year ago, marching with the Nation of Islam, okay? Yeah, but when it comes to this truth, knowing that you're a Hebrew Israelite, okay, this word is separate, okay? So first of all, being a Hebrew Israelite, it's a nationality. It is an heritage, okay? When it comes to the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay? It is not to be mixed, okay, or compared to any other doctrine, okay, as the scripture says, false doctrines of the world, such as Islam, Christianity, okay, Egyptology, okay. You got a lot of Israelites out there that, trying to rub elbows or rubbing elbows, okay, with individuals, lost individuals, okay, that believe in Egyptology or the House of Conscience, okay, believing that they Kemet, believing that they're Africans or their bloodline go back to Ham, okay. Now, in particular, so-called Negroes, okay, the Negroes, which is the tribe of Judah, okay, or the nation of Israel, bloodline go back to Shem, okay, in which out of the bloodline of Shem came Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay. And, in this case, like I said, going into the, this video or this lesson, okay, when it comes to the nation of Islam, okay, which, like I said, there's no such thing, a nation of Islam, okay, they ain't up but a bunch of Negroes that lost, believing in, Islam or being Muslims, okay, which, when it comes to the history of the Muslims, okay, we knew during the time of the Dark Ages, that was brought about during the time of the Roman Catholic Church, which during the time of the Dark Ages, there was mainly the so-called Negroes that took over Europe, okay, mainly out of Spain, when it comes to so-called Negroes that called themselves Moors back then, okay, because the Moorish or Moorism, okay, is another spin-off of Islam, okay, and they created Islam, okay, to deceive those Arabs that's what's over there in the land of Israel, okay. And when it comes to the Arabs, they're the biblical Ishmaelites, okay, and that's why you're seeing now, mainly when it comes to these Arabs, they wholeheartedly believe in Islam, okay, but that came from out of the Roman Catholic Church during the time of the Byzantine, okay, or Constantine, Empire, during that time out of the Moors, okay, and throughout, process of time, you had the Moors or so-called Negroes started believing Islam, okay, got caught up into their own fault, that their own crafty false doctrine, man. They wanted to push on the Arabs, man, at that time, okay, or Ishmael at that time, okay. And we know about the Turkish or Ottoman Turkish Empire, okay, that took over that took down the Moors, okay, which the Ottoman Turks, okay, was known as the so-called white race, okay, Edomites that believe in Islam, okay, that eventually converted to Islam, and Arabs, okay, that converted to Islam, that worked together that took down the Moors, okay. I believe what the last state of the Moors was what Casada, okay. It was, you know, a history I probably got to go back into, okay. But you got Islam came from out of the Roman Catholic Church, man, okay, and that's a false doctrine, man, okay. But here in 2025, you still got Israelites or so-called Negroes believing that they're Moors or believing that they're Islamic or Muslims, okay. And that's false, man. Like I say, Islam is a false doctrine, okay. And they worship the moon crescent when it comes to Allah, okay, which Allah is the Hebrew word, okay, meaning power, okay. And that's what it simply is, okay, mean power, okay, Allah, okay, or Allah Hayim, okay. But we come to the understanding, us that's knowing that we Hebrew Israelites, when it comes to our true inheritance, okay, when it comes to our power, okay, you have a true name, which is Yahweh in the Hebrew, and his son name, Yahweh Shai, okay. So those the true living power, okay, not Allah, okay. Like I say, Allah simply means power, okay. And we know Islam came about with the Quran, okay, that false doctrine, okay, that, you know, these Arabs believe in. And when as I say, majority of our people had took on to now, okay, talking about the Quran and all that. But now you got Israelites, okay, that, you know, call themselves believing in the Bible, okay, but wanna be joint, okay, with these other religions, okay, which the word religion means worship, okay. But these other different sets of religions falsely, okay, they worship, you know, these false doctrines, these false gods, okay, these idols, okay, or these false doctrines, okay. But you got certain individuals amongst Israel that claiming they believe in the Bible want to join into them, okay. But the word of Yahweh Shema Shai is separate, okay, when it comes to the Holy Scriptures, man, okay, which is the true heritage of the Israelites, which happen to be so-called, once again, so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay. Hey, so when you see amongst the men of great millstone, hey, we ain't gonna be conducting ourselves or being joined forces with Islam, okay, the Muslims, okay, like I say, IUIC is doing, okay, or the House of Conscience or Egyptology, okay. You got a lot of Israelite camps out there doing that, okay, in particular ISUPK, okay, Sakari, okay, getting up with Sinetta, okay, and you know the young Pharaoh and Shaka Amos, okay, one point of time, Bro Polite, okay. But you seeing how, you know, Egyptology being in the House of Conscience being this coming to his downfall, man, okay. Because now, you know, Sinetta can't really get views unless he mentioned the Hebrew Israelites, okay. But you got, like I say, certain leaders amongst Israel, okay, that, you know, giving him the shine, okay, such as Captain Tazariak from ISUPK, Alazar from Sakari, okay, and other individuals that Israel, okay, want to be on this platform, okay, to debate, okay, who had the truth. Is it Israel or is it Egyptology? I mean, that's a waste of time, man, because when it comes to the true worshipers and the true believers of Yahweh Shema Shai that's in the faith, okay, we come to understand the standing that the words of Yahweh Shema Shai stand alone. And it ain't gonna compare, okay, to any other doctrine or false doctrine of the world, man. Okay, but let me get on Amos chapter 3, verse 3. It says, can two walk together except there be agree? Okay, and the answer is no. Okay, because once again, the words of Yahweh Shema Shai stand alone. Okay, we come back knowing that we Hebrew Israelites. Okay, we leave off on the ways of this world. Okay, when it comes to the false doctrines, man. Okay, when it comes to Islam, Egyptology, Kemet, okay, a house of conscience, Roman Catholicism, Christianity, okay, uh, um, atheism, okay, all these false doctrine that the world is pushing that our people are into or look for to be the way of life, okay, us that's in the faith, we come back to the understanding that Yahweh Shema Shai is not dealing with those false doctrines, man, okay, and that the word of Yahweh Shema Shai is standing on, okay, and the main thing we know what separate the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, the God of the Bible, is prophecy, okay, because when it comes to a lot of these religions amongst our people that's in that what's they into, okay, they don't mention prophecy, they don't go into prophecy, they don't go into history or in heritage, okay, they don't give you the reason why you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, okay, are in the situation that you're in, okay. Now the Holy Scriptures does, okay, or do, okay. So it says Amos chapter 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed? And once again, when it comes to the Scriptures, the doctrine or the words he have about Shema Shai, no, okay. If we come to the understanding that this word is only going to gather the elect anyway, okay. Matter of fact, let me get this. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16. And it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Okay, what is the book or the word of Yahweh Shem Shai? The Holy Bible. Okay, once again, our heritage of the Israelites, man. Okay, even though we know that the Lord created all nations according to the scriptures, but out of all nations, the Lord separate, okay, the nation of Israel from any other nation. Okay, and at this time, the heathen nations are ruling. Start with the biblical Edomites, the so-called white race. Okay, but the word of Yahweh Shem Shai, these scriptures talk about the prophecies of their downfall, of these heathen nations, okay, which leading to this place America at the time that we in now. This place America going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire at the peak of the Third World War, and that's going to bring in or lead to the downfall of Esau, Edom, and these heathens, and also leading to the time of Yahweh Shai's second coming, redeeming the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3 from out of the destruction from the thermonuclear missiles. Okay, by the way of the chariots, what the world called UFOs. Okay, and Yahweh Shai is only going to redeem the elect at this time, because 2/3 of so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, and non-believers of our people that's into the ways of this world, that's into the ways of these false doctrines and following after these false gods and idol worship, going after the hedonistic customs, okay, such as Islam, Christianity, Roman Catholicism, Egyptology, they're going to be destroyed, okay? Especially when we're approaching the time of all hell about to break loose, man. Okay, leading up to this place destruction. Okay, as we're about to approach the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, but the Lord is only going to redeem the elect. And Yahweh Shai eventually going to set up the kingdom of Israel, okay, here on the earth. And when it comes to these heathen nations, they're going to build our kingdom up. Okay, they're going to go into captivity. Okay, or layman's term, slavery. Start with the elites of Esau, Edom, that's going to escape the damnations of the missiles. And the heathen nations that remain at that time, they're going to build our kingdom up in the land of Israel. Okay, which, by the way, the land of Israel is going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear fire. Okay, just for the rightful owners to inherit that land again. Okay, because the ones that's over there ruling now, okay, those phonies are not the true people. Okay, they are Edomites, which go back to Amalek. Okay, and that land is going to be destroyed. Okay, just to be cleansed, and for us to build our kingdom in that land. Okay, under the rule of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And like I said, start with the elect. And these heathen nations going to build it up. Okay, but the land of America never going to be rebuilt. It's going to become a desert. Okay, and the only things that's going to inhabit this place is desert-like creatures. Okay, and only the scriptures tell you about that. But once again, only the elect is going to get the true understanding. Okay, because those that know they're Israelites and trying to mingle this truth in with the world or other different sets of religions or organizations, okay, so in this case like Islam, okay, they don't have no understanding of that, man. Okay, us of the hopeful elect, we had that understanding. Starting with the apostles, elders, bishops, and the brother on down, a great millstone. Okay, and those that truly out there teaching. But it says Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. okay, the prophecies, okay, which is contained in the Holy Scriptures. And it says, no one of these shall fail, going to the prophecies once again. It says, none shall want her mate, meaning that no doctrine outside of the Scriptures can compare to the words of Yahweh Shema Shai. Not Islam, not the Book of Quran, not Egyptology, not the House of Conscience, okay, not the book of the dead, okay, Christianity, okay, although they say they believe in the Scriptures, but they don't have the true understanding of the Holy Bible, okay, because they haven't taught or pushed the false notion that everybody can be saved, God love everybody, who the world called Christ came and died for all nations, okay, they're teaching the hell doctrine, okay, the law, statute, commandments are done away with, okay, uh, still pushing and believing that who the world called Christ is white, God is white, okay, so-called white, okay, so they lost, man, okay, when it comes to these Christians, okay, a Roman Catholics, the same thing, okay, like I said, Egyptology, okay, the false doctrine of Egyptology, okay, our people still believing that there's so-called Africans, or their bloodline go back to Ham, which are the original Africans today, okay, so they, all over the place, man. Now you got Baphomet, Satanism, okay, that our people are into, witchcraft, okay, and it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read, no one of these shall fail, going to the prophecies, okay, once again, none shall want her mate, meaning that no doctrine, okay, is not going to compare to the words of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, okay, and it says, for my mouth it had commanded, and his spirit had gathered them, yeah, so the mouth of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai are the prophets, and that's who the word of the Lord, by the way, the prophets are gathering, the elect, okay, when it comes to the nation of Israel, okay, and when it comes back to serving Yahweh Shem Yahushai in all truth and sincerity, okay, teaching the word correctly and conducting ourselves, man, okay, so that's it on that. Let me see, what, Colossians, let's get Colossians chapter 2 verse 8, and it says, beware lest any man spoil you through the philosophies and vain deceit, okay, like Islam, okay, like I say, they believe in the Quran, okay, that's a false book, false doctrine, okay, when it comes to these Muslims, okay, they worship in the moon crescent God, okay, Allah, okay, women worship, the Mecca stone, okay, all those idols, man, okay, like I say, Egyptology, Christianity, Roman Catholics, okay, our people just over Christianity doing over the weekend when it comes to the false doctrine of Christianity, okay, our people just now celebrating falsely, okay, Easter, okay, which that go back to a Hamitic god, Ishtar, okay, there are another false doctrine, okay, vain deceit, another false philosophy, okay, and it says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, okay, our people worship, or celebrate Christmas, okay, celebrate Jeremiah 10, go into that, Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 1, okay, the Lord, through the scriptures, the condemning Christmas, okay, which that's a Babylonian custom, okay, a Hamitic custom, okay, yeah, but our people into Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Valentine's Day, okay, 4th of July, the next one that come up, okay, of a holiday, like I say, Easter, okay, all those are false philosophies, okay, and it says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Okay, so these false doctrines are not the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, like I said, mainly they don't focus on prophecies. Okay, and they're mixtures of all type of doctrines, man. Okay, when it comes from the Hamitic customs. Okay, the Edomite customs. Greco-Roman Edomites custom. Okay, Babylon, Egypt. Okay, uh, 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 Medo-Persian. Okay, the Persian. Okay, that's why this place America is known as Babylon the Great, which the word Babylon, Baal in the Hebrew means confusion, because that's what you have here, a bunch of confusion when it comes to a lot of these false doctrines that our people are into, that mingle with a lot of hedonistic customs and teaching, false teachings, man. Okay, but the word of Yahweh Shema Shai stands alone when it comes to understanding of this truth and interpret it the right way. Okay, when it comes to the word. Okay, so they are, these false doctrines are the rudiments of this world. These hedonistic customs are the rudiments of this world. Okay, that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai told us to separate from when it come back to understanding the truth, man. Okay, and knowing our heritage. Let me see. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Yeah. So when you come to the understanding that you're a Hebrew Israelite, okay, you're supposed to be out there teaching repentance and telling our people to come get out of these false doctrines of the ways of the world. Okay, not endorsing, okay, on their behalf, okay, joining with them, okay, Hebrew Israelites, okay, marching with the Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelites, and the House of Conscience getting together, debating, okay, showing love, okay, amongst each other, okay. And even when it comes to certain Hebrew Israelite camps, we can't get along with them due to their doctrine, their false teachings. Okay, because you got a lot of Israelite camps that's out there that's out there not pushing the true names in the Hebrew. Okay, being Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Okay, you got Israelite camps out there that's not believing that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. Okay, such as ISUPK, IUIC, WFI, HOI. Okay, to name a few. And you got Hebrew Israelite camps out there, or ROI. Okay, knowing the Israelites, but when they hold a feast, okay, on certain days they hold their feast, they hold them on the traditions of this world, okay, such as when it comes to Christmas or Thanksgiving, okay, they hold feasts, okay, on those days, okay, but they putting an Israelite spin on it, okay, and at the same time eating pork and abominable food, okay, from ROI, okay, and so they unequally yoked. Okay, even those that know they're Israelites or these Israelite camps, okay, teaching false doctrines. Okay, they talking about some, unity camps. Okay, you got a lot of these Israelite camps that are unified amongst each other, but got different, differences on the doctrines. But their whole mind is that, although we know that we Israelites, that should be good. Okay, we ain't got to worry about the doctrine. Okay, long as we just push Israel. And you got Israelite camps out there that don't believe in the 12 tribe chart. Okay, saying that the Negroes are only Israelites. The Hispanics, Latinos, Native Americans, they ain't Israelites. Okay, so that's confusion. Okay, so that's division. Okay, so a lot of madness that's going on, man. Hebrew is like saying that other nations can be saved. Heathen nation can be saved. Esau, Edom can be saved. Okay, there ain't no such thing as Jacob's trouble. Okay, it's all about prosperity. It's all about the laws, statutes, commandments. Okay, how Israel gonna be justified. Okay, and what else, man? Okay, it's like camps out there saying that we are already in the new covenant. Madness like that. Okay, or Old Testament only Israelites that don't believe in Yahweh Shai in the New Testament. Okay, and it says 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? Yeah, so the word of Yahweh Shema Shai is light. Okay, anything outside of that is darkness. Okay, when it comes to these false doctrines of the world, the different sets of religions. And when it comes to the false teachings of these false prophets amongst these false Israelite camps, man, okay, they're in darkness, man, okay? So that means there is a light. And we believe when it comes to the men of great millstone, start with the elder apostles and bishops and elders and the brethren on down, those that truly teaching, that we have that light within all this darkness and the madness of this world, okay? And how we know we have that light? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, and through the correct teaching, okay? And the Lord giving us examples of these other camps and examples of these false doctrines that's of the world that don't compare, okay, to the true word of Yahweh Shema Shah, okay? So that's it on that. So we ain't supposed to be yoked with them, okay? Allowing non-believers to their Passovers, okay? Allowing Egyptology or Kemet individuals that believe in that madness to their Passovers, okay? Islam, okay? Muslims, okay? Join with them, okay? And they'll say they know that they don't have the truth, but you know, all because the skin tone, okay? Being black Hebrew Israelites and black Muslims or Egyptology, hey, that's the power of blackness, okay? Which the word black means a void of light, okay? Darkness, once again, okay? This light don't have communion with darkness, man, okay? Because we ain't black, okay? We Hebrew Israelites, man, okay? But those that's in that type of mind frame and pushing that, you know, due to, you know, they seeing so-called Negroes amongst these other religions, okay? They feel like, hey, man, if we got to come together, okay, to push the black movement and all type of madness, okay, but that's okay, because the elect gonna be separated from all that madness, okay? Let's get this, and when it comes to the whole Hebrew Israelites, although we push that the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans primarily are Israelites, but you got Israelites scattered amongst all nations, okay? And that spirit within is spiritual within itself, okay? Because a lot of our people, okay, are individuals that know the Israelites don't even want to accept that. That you're going to have Israelites looking like other nations, okay, that's going to convert and come into this faith. Due to that, their bloodline go back to Negro, Latino, and Native American descent, okay, and that they are the spirit of the Lord, that they understand His truth, okay. Cause like I see, you got Israelites out there that's pushing pro-black. That's it. Let's get But those of our people that want to be join hand in hand with these false religions, those that know the Israelites, okay, but still want to endorse the Nation of Islam or Egyptology or Christianity, okay, all the ways of this world, okay, endorsing Esau Edom system. Hey, this is what the scripture says. But that's Proverbs 11 verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. Okay, so don't hand join hand. Okay, in this case, the wicked going into majority of our people. Okay, you Israelites that's out there want to endorse Islam, like I say, Egyptology, marching with them, doing debates with them, okay, partying with them, okay. They want to endorse Christianity, okay, or any other false doctrine outside of the truth. You an Israelite endorsing it, okay, and want to be in the ways of this world, okay, they trusting the Esau Edom system, okay. And the Lord said, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. Okay, so they're going to be destroyed right along with the non-believers of our people in this world. Okay, I'm talking about those that supposedly are the circumcision. Okay, because they're supposed to know better. Okay, but they're making the word of the Lord world friendly. Okay, and so though they be joined hand in hand, okay, they're going to be destroyed right along with the non-believers. Okay, right along with Esau, Edom, and his heathens when all hell break loose, man, and the Lord bring judgment. Once again, the Lord only going to liberate and redeem the elect. Okay, separate the elect. Okay, and it says, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Once again, the elect. Okay, let me see. And I end off with this. 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things are in the world. Yeah. Hey, so Christianity is the way of the world. Islam is the way of the world. Roman Catholicism, Egyptology, okay, going after the way Esau Edom system, the money system, okay, the Greek mythology, okay, a lot of people are into that, okay, being Greeks, okay, all type of madness, man, okay, trying to prosper in this world, using the doctrine or using the Hebrew Israelite, okay, as we say, movement, okay, to do to push merchandise, okay, make this word a merchandise, okay, on prosperity, okay, that's the way of the world. And that's why you're seeing a lot of these Israelite camps, as they say, the top ones, IUIC, ISUPK, get the large following, okay, because they making this truth or this doctrine world friendly, okay, and the Lord is not of that, man, okay. And other individuals, okay, amongst these Israelite camps, false Israelite camps, they're trying to make this doctrine world friendly. And it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Yeah, so when you come to the understanding that you're a Hebrew Israelite, you separate from this world, man. Okay, you come back keeping the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. Okay, although we're in this grace period, because we're not going to be justified by the laws, but we're rehearsing the righteous act. Okay, and when you come to the understanding of the truth, you push the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son in Hebrew, being Yahweh Bashim Shai, okay, which is separate from this world. Okay, but you got Israelite camps out there still pushing Christ. Okay, and being offended. Okay, when they're being rebuked or reproved, when it comes to them teaching the false names, man, or taking the word of the Lord, making it merchandise. Okay, or teaching damnable heresies. Okay, because they are the love of this world. Okay, if you talking about the nations can't be saved, that's the love of this world. Okay, the elect is not going to be teaching that. The elect will say that, going to be teaching that Yahweh Shema Shai is against these heathens and their future is captivity. Starting with the biblical Edomites. Okay, like I said, because you got a lot of Hebrew Israelites out there now. Okay, that teaching this word or falsely teaching and trying to make this word world friendly. And it says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life. Oh yeah, and that's what a lot of Israelites about. Okay, the pride of life, the lust of the flesh, Israelite parties. Okay, to be seen of men. Okay, the fancy garments. Okay, the reality TV shows, the interviews, the Hebrew Israelite music. Okay, the promoting of the marches and joining in with the Nation of Islam or Egyptology. Okay, yeah, that's the lust of their flesh and the lust of their eyes. Cause all of it is about monetary gain or to be seen of men. Okay, which both of them, hand in hand when it comes to a lot of these false Israelite camps, man. Okay, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passes away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai abide forever. Yes, because this world gonna eventually pass away. When Yahweh Bashim Shai destroy this place by the way of thermonuclear fire, man. But prior to that, man, all hell breaking loose, man. Okay? When the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay? When the RFID micro is implemented, when there's martial law, civil unrest, okay? Detention centers, race wars, famine, pestilence, okay, all that, okay, leading up to this place destruction ultimately, okay, by the way of the missiles, man, okay, but us that's in the faith, okay, as the scripture said, because we see what's going on, okay, us that has been called and eventually hopefully be chosen, okay, and we separating ourselves from the ways of this world, man, okay, although we here, okay, we know we here, okay, but we ain't doing what these other Israelite camps are pushing, making this the word of the Lord world friendly, okay, taking this word and making it merchandise, okay, all about prosperity, all about the Hebrew Israelite community, or join forces with the other religions or different sets of organizations, okay. Now the elect eventually, the number that we're striving to be part of, the hopeful elect, the elect is not going to be in that mind frame, okay. Yeah, the elect is going to be hasting, okay, and at the same time rebuking, reproving, okay, and prophesying the downfall of this place, man, okay, and at the same time working out our own salvation with fear and trembling, and teaching the truth, man, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here, and I pray that the lesson will edify. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.